जो देश इतिहास को भूल नहीं पा रहा, क्योंकि नफरत के बीज आप लोगों ने बोए थे। नॉर्थ ईस्ट बम, बंद और ब्लास्ट के लिए ही जाना जाता था। बम, बंद और ब्लास्ट के लिए नॉर्थ ईस्ट जाना जाता था कांग्रेस की सरकारों में। लुक ईस्ट पॉलिसी थी आपकी, देखते रहते थे। मोदी जी ने आके एक्ट ईस्ट पॉलिसी चलाई है। जितने पिछले 60 सालों में आपके प्रधानमंत्री जितनी बार नॉर्थ ईस्ट नहीं गए, उससे ज्यादा नरेंद्र मोदी जी नॉर्थ ईस्ट गए भी, नॉर्थ ईस्ट के विकास के लिए कदम भी उठाए। आपको तो 75 साल में कोई ऐसा नहीं आया जिसको भारत रत्न आप वहां से दे सकते थे। भारत सरकार नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में भारत रत्न भी वहां पर देने का काम किया, पद्म श्री से लेकर पद्म विभूषण तक देने का काम किया। लेकिन आखिरकार आपको तो नफरत के बीज बोने की आदत है, राजनीतिक लाभ उठाना है। आपका हाल भी श्रीमान राहुल गांधी जी वैसा ही है जैसे बिन पानी मछली तड़पती है ना, आप भी बिन सत्ता के वैसे ही तड़प रहे हो। कुछ भी बोलते हो देश के खिलाफ, भारत माता के खिलाफ। इससे बड़ा दुर्भाग्य क्या होगा। और जब अमित भाई ने यहां पर बताया, गृह मंत्री जी ने, कि कैसे आजादी के बाद 2014 तक कोई फेंसिंग नॉर्थ ईस्ट में मणिपुर में नहीं की गई थी, पूरा बॉर्डर खुला होता था, 40 किलोमीटर तक अंदर आने देते थे। तब तो आपका कोई नेता वहां खड़ा होकर नहीं बोला। हमारी सरकार ने फेंसिंग भी शुरू करवाई है, करवा भी दी, अब आगे भी जारी है। और यही नहीं, जिस तरह से आपने टिप्पणी की।
Okay, so this is Union Minister Anurag Thakur lashing out at Rahul Gandhi and questioning him over the comment that he made, not just in Parliament, but also repeated it soon after now in that press conference, saying that this is unparliamentary language that's been used by Rahul Gandhi. And the fact that he's repeated it shows that he doesn't care for the people of Manipur. We'll track the latest that comes in on this face-off. Let's cut across to breaking news that's coming in. And let's get you more details that are emerging from Amit Shah's big announcement of changes in the CRPC. The amendment bill that was introduced in the Lok Sabha today, now it's emerged that the Home Minister also in that overhaul of the criminal laws has mentioned a new provision that's been added for sexual intercourse by deceitful means. Essentially what this means is, in fact, that Home Minister Amit Shah said that if anyone gets into a relationship, a physical relationship by deceit, by using a fake identity, that has now become criminalized. Let's play out for you what the Home Minister said first.
गलत पहचान प्रकट कर कर जो यौन संबंध बनाते थे, उसको अपराध की श्रेणी में पहली बार नरेंद्र मोदी सरकार लाए। गलत पहचान प्रकट कर कर जो यौन संबंध बनाते थे, उसको अपराध की श्रेणी में पहली बार नरेंद्र मोदी सरकार लाए।
All right, so that is the statement that came in from Amit Shah. There's obviously a lot of speculation on whether this is a provision essentially to tackle love jihad. Let me bring in Anisha Mathur also on this broadcast. Anisha, explain to us what really this provision is. What has the Home Minister said really? Is there a punishment? How will they identify? What is the deceit here?
Well, Akhshita, while we are speculating on what it may mean, let us look at the actual text of the proposed bill. What this provision it says is section 39 in the proposed bill, that is the Nyaya Sanhita, which is the new IPC, says that sex on promise to marry or sex by deceitful means can be punishable at a maximum of 10 years, which basically means that whoever by deceitful means, and I'm reading out the provision here, whoever by deceitful means or making a promise to marry a woman without any intention of fulfilling the same has sexual intercourse with her, such intercourse not amounting to rape will be punished by an punishment of maximum 10 years imprisonment. Now, what does deceitful means mean here? The examples they've given is that by promising employment, the example that the proposed bill is giving is that by hiding that identity. So it could be a lot of things, because we've seen in the last several years cases coming out where there is a promise of marriage rape cases, particularly, which has come to the Supreme Court, to all other courts as well. So this could mean hiding your identity, this could mean giving incorrect identity, this could mean hiding the fact that you're married earlier. It could mean a lot of critically the questions that are being asked is this going to be with regard to religious identity, or could it be any other fraud that is played on a woman with regard to compelling her consent for sex?
So it's not just physical relationship, but other means as well, like form of employment, as Anisha pointed out. But thanks for giving us that clarity, Anisha, and joining us here on 6 p.m. Prime. So those are the details really about this new provision that's been mentioned in the CRPC bill that's been brought about by Home Minister Amit Shah. No doubt it's going to lead to endless speculation on whether this is an attempt by the BJP to tackle love jihad. But let's get you some of those details. So the highlights really of the bill that was tabled by Home Minister Amit Shah, that was passed in the Lok Sabha as well, because the opposition wasn't present in the House. A number of highlights that have come to the fore. Primarily the fact that now the kind of punishment for rape cases has also been increased. The new bills essentially propose changes in punishment for rape. There will be provisions for the death penalty for the rape of minors. Union Home Minister Amit Shah said that the centre will also introduce the provision of capital punishment in mob lynching cases, importantly. There's a lot of talk about really what happens with the sedition law, because the Home Minister did refer to that as well. It's going to be completely repealed. But before you think that there's no sedition law in place, it's essentially been tweaked. He's introduced 3 bills aimed at overhauling the criminal justice system. Provisions under the sedition law proposed to be scrapped. Sedition has been changed to act of endangering sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. Currently, sedition draws a punishment of life imprisonment or with a jail term which may extend to 3 years. Now, the new provision changes the 3-year punishment to 7 years. Life imprisonment also continues to be in place.
राजद्रोह पर ये अंग्रेजों ने अपने शासन को बचाने के लिए एक कानून बना था। मैं इस सदन को कहना चाहता हूं, एक ऐतिहासिक निर्णय इस सरकार ने किया है। राजद्रोह को कंप्लीटली हम रिपील कर रहे हैं। यहां लोकतंत्र, सबको बोलने का अधिकार है। राजद्रोह को हम कंप्लीटली रिपील कर रहे हैं। मान्यवर, गैंग रेप के सभी मामलों में 20 साल की सजा या आजीवन कारावास का प्रावधान किया है, जो आज नहीं है। 18 वर्ष से कम आयु की बच्चियों के मामले में मृत्यु दंड का भी प्रावधान। मॉब लिंचिंग का बड़ा शोर मचा है, हमने उसको केयरफुली करा है। मॉब लिंचिंग के लिए भी 7 साल आजीवन कारावास और मृत्युदंड तीनों का प्रोविजन कर हम प्रावधान मान्यवर लाए।
Now, there's a controversy that's also erupted, interestingly, on the renaming of the IPC, the CRPC. It's been given new names, Hindi words. And Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has objected to these words as well. He's in fact slammed this, calling it a bid to impose Hindi once again. Remember that IPC and CRPC has been renamed as Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita and Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita. Chief Minister M.K. Stalin says that this reeks of linguistic imperialism, and he's claimed that the BJP has no moral right to even utter the word Tamil hereafter. Even as the BJP has made several attempts to say that there's no question of Hindi imposition, you've got M.K. Stalin once again raking up this issue, saying that the fact that you've changed the words of IPC and CRPC to Hindi terms itself shows that there is an attempt to impose Hindi on the people of Tamil Nadu and across the country. Let's see also how the BJP reacts to this particular controversy. Shilpa Nair is joining us with more details on this. So Shilpa, you've got the DMK, M.K. Stalin once again crying foul over the renaming of the CRPC and the IPC, saying that this is another example of Hindi imposition.
Well, that's right, Akhshita. In fact, the move by the union government to rename the IPC and CRPC and giving it Hindi terms, that of course has not gone down well with the DMK Chief Minister and DMK President M.K. Stalin has hit out at the BJP, saying that this is nothing but a recolonization in the name of decolonization, and also saying that the entire move reeks of linguistic imperialism. And joining me is DMK spokesperson A. Saravanan. So many thanks for speaking to us. How do you look at the fact that these bills have been brought in by the union government, and also the fact that IPC and CRPC, they've been renamed and they've been given Hindi terms?
See, we have been opposing the Hindi imposition of the BJP. Now they have found a new way to impose Hindi. It was an Indian penal code. Now they want to change it to Bharatiya. I don't know. I'm not able to pronounce that. I think this is going to be, if at all, I don't think this will be allowed to be implemented. If at all this is implemented, this is going to be the bane of all the lawyers across the country. So our leader, Mr. M.K. Stalin, has opposed it. Says this is recolonization in the name of decolonization. It's like unbelievable that such an important bill, which is totally changing the entire criminal justice system, has been done without inputs from the stakeholders, especially the lawyers, the jurists, and several other people. This is not just about naming or renaming. There is more to it. They are bringing in new laws. They say they have done away with sedition, but the draft act, section 150, says speak something against the unity and integrity of the country, you will be put to prison. For how long? Life imprisonment. So much of sweeping changes without as much as a consultation.
So that's the reaction that's just coming from the DMK. Thanks, Shilpa, for getting us the reaction from the DMK. They're saying we can't even pronounce the new term right now because it's so loaded with Hindi. We don't know what it means. What is the point of putting a Hindi term for things like CRPC and IPC when the people of Tamil Nadu will not get it? So they're accusing again the BJP of Hindi imposition. All right, let's get you highlights from Parliament. Last day of the monsoon session and once again a stormy day because in the Lok Sabha you had the opposition boycotting the last day of proceedings. Why? Because of Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury's suspension. They're seeing red over this and questioning what was the need to suspend Adhir Ranjan over his comments on the Prime Minister. A massive protest took place in Lok Sabha. It was raised in the Rajya Sabha. Let's get you all of those highlights.
क्योंकि हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी जिस दिन मणिपुर के मुद्दे पे बोलना चाहिए था
comments expunged and suspended from Lok Sabha. Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury is facing fire for his comments on Prime Minister Modi during the no trust motion debate in the Lok Sabha on Thursday.
यूरोप में गए थे
Congress has now gone all out to express their anger over the move, staging protests across India. Led by Rahul Gandhi, Congress staged a protest in the Parliament premises in support of Adhir Ranjan. MPs holding up placards boycotted the last day of the monsoon session in the lower house, joined by their India allies. The controversy echoed in Rajya Sabha, where Congress chief Kharge defended Adhir.
वो मेंबर हमारे अधीर रंजन चौधरी साहब को निलंबित किया गया है वो फ्लिमसी ग्राउंड उन्होंने इतना ही बोला नीरव मोदी नीरव मीन्स शांत साइलेंट अरे मुंह इसीलिए नीरव मोदी बोले तो इसके ऊपर आप सस्पेंड करते हैं.
In Kolkata too, dramatic scenes unfolded as Congress workers hit the streets against the Speaker's decision. Adhir meanwhile has continued to defend his Nirav Modi remark, saying he has no intention of hurting any sentiments.
मणिपुर के मुद्दे पे आप नीरव बैठे हैं, चुप्पी साधे हुए हैं, मिस्टर साइलेंट बन गए हैं. इसका मतलब ये नहीं मोदी जी को मैं अपमान करने की कोई मेरा मकसद नहीं.
India MPs too rallied behind Adhir, calling his suspension a shocking attempt to silence the opposition.
This alliance, which is cornering them, which brought in a no-confidence motion, continues to say, yes, we know we did not have the numbers, but we wanted to bring the Prime Minister to the Parliament. Having done that, it is the frustration that is speaking out loud, and it is under that pressure coming from the government that the LOP has been suspended.
The government treasury benches have been behaving in an undemocratic fashion. Even the leader of the opposition has been suspended from the Lok Sabha, whereas the MP who went to attack him has been spared. And actually, the democracy is being jettisoned in both the houses.
मुझे सख्त अफसोस है कि एक अच्छे मेंबर को इन्होंने आखिरी दिन सस्पेंड किया. बहुत अफसोस की बात.
Meanwhile, the BJP has backed the suspension move, accusing him of constantly disrupting the house.
वो तो एक ऐसे रूप में लाकर अधीर जी को खड़ा कर दिया कि उनको दल का नेता तो बनाया है, समय बोलने का नहीं दिया है. ये अपने आप में दिखाता है कांग्रेस ने उनकी कितनी बेइज्जती की है.
मैंने बोला माफी मांगो, कम से कम खेद प्रकट करो, रिकॉर्ड में है ये. उसके बावजूद भी उन्होंने कुछ नहीं किया. इसके इतना ही नहीं, जब भी कोई बोलते हैं कम से कम 10 बार हर बार उठते हैं, डिस्टर्ब करते हैं। ये इनका हैबिट बन गया है।
Adhir's name, remember, was added in the last minute to the speaker's list, a point that the BJP and even Prime Minister Modi constantly raked up.
सबसे बड़े विपक्षी दल के नेता को बोलने की सूची में नाम ही नहीं था। अधीर बाबू को क्या हाल हो गया। ये तो कल अमित भाई ने बहुत जिम्मेवारी के साथ कहा कि भाई अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है, और आपकी उदारता थी कि उनका समय समाप्त हो गया था तो भी आपने उनको आज मौका दिया, लेकिन गुड़ का गोबर कैसे करना उसमें ये माहिर है।
The monsoon session may have come to an end, but the controversy over Adhir's comments and his subsequent suspension rage on. Bureau Report, India Today.
Stormy end to the monsoon session. Some would say it was fitting with the theme of the entire session, essentially. I'm slipping into a very short break here on 6 p.m. Prime. On the other side, we get to a very interesting report drawing from the highlights of the Prime Minister's address when he spoke on Operation Blue Star. We'll get you details of the circumstances that led to that operation. Go back in time, go back in history.
Communal flashpoint at Delhi's doorstep. Amidst the flames and rioting, India Today reporters fearless on the ground.
Stone pelting was so aggressive from the both sides.
Entire market in the area has been shut right now. Attacked the cyber police station of Noor.
Facts, questions,
What resulted in the communal clashes?
and first-hand reports. 100% accuracy amidst the blaze. We track the face of every story. India Today. India United.
Viluppuram judge, where this case was happening, he has written to speeden up this case and for completion. Wherein this case is now transferred from Viluppuram to Vellore on administrative order. Any matter, wherever the case is being contested, it is on merits. And the judgment is going to happen on merits. And what is the reason to shift the case from Viluppuram to Vellore for no reason at all? So there are many such incidences which has given a shoddy image on the entire process of judicial process. I think now the damage control exercise has started and we hope the justice is delivered soon.
This is a welcome move by the Honorable High Court, and people are feeling very happy that justice still prevails. So I think next to Senthil Balaji, in line, Mr. Ponmudi should be dismissed. But we don't expect that to happen because Mr. Stalin is very adamant to carry on with Senthil Balaji and Mr. Ponmudi.
राजद्रोह पर ये अंग्रेजों ने अपने शासन को बचाने के लिए एक कानून बना था। मैं इस सदन को कहना चाहता हूं, एक ऐतिहासिक निर्णय इस सरकार ने किया है। राजद्रोह को कंप्लीटली हम रिपील कर रहे हैं। यहां लोकतंत्र, सबको बोलने का अधिकार है। राजद्रोह को हम कंप्लीटली रिपील कर रहे हैं। मान्यवर, गैंग रेप के सभी मामलों में 20 साल की सजा या आजीवन कारावास का प्रावधान किया है, जो आज नहीं है। 18 वर्ष से कम आयु की बच्चियों के मामले में मृत्यु दंड का भी प्रावधान। मॉब लिंचिंग का बड़ा शोर मचा है, हमने उसको केयरफुली करा है। मॉब लिंचिंग के लिए भी 7 साल आजीवन कारावास और मृत्युदंड तीनों का प्रोविजन कर हम प्रावधान मान्यवर लाए।
Welcome back. Now, there's been a big debate over what the Prime Minister said in Parliament yesterday, and one point that really stood out is also his attack on the Congress on the 1984 anti-Sikh riots. The Prime Minister put the focus on Operation Blue Star, going into great detail of all that former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi got wrong.
An operation that struck the holiest of Sikh shrines almost 40 years ago. Operation Blue Star aimed at clearing militants holed up inside the Akal Takht, the highest seat of Sikh temporal authority in the complex of the Shri Darbar Sahib, the Golden Temple, deeply wounded the Sikh soul. A wave of protests ripped through the entire Sikh community. Many returned government honours and positions of influence. Fast forward to 2023.
कौन था उस समय? इंदिरा गांधी। अकाल तख्त पर हमला हुआ है तो अभी भी हमारी स्मृति में है। उनको मिजोरम में उसके पहले ही आदत लग गई थी और इसलिए अकाल तख्त पर हमला करने तक वो पहुंचे थे, मेरे ही देश में, और यहां हमें उपदेश दे रहे हैं।
India's Prime Minister recounts the army attack on the Akal Takht in his reply to the no trust motion on Thursday.
Prime Minister issued this critique on the floor of Parliament. It was a rare critique of its kind of Operation Blue Star in several ways. The texture of PM Modi's mention of the attack on the Akal Takht was filled with heavy criticism of the then Congress government for using the might of the armed forces on the most sacred site of a community. Prior to PM Modi, heads of government have usually avoided critiquing Operation Blue Star as openly as he did in the Lok Sabha.
For the record, the BJP has been a vocal critic of Operation Blue Star. Most of that criticism, however, has been voiced outside Parliament.
The worst form of desecration, if ever carried out, of the Golden Temple is to be talked about. It was by late Prime Minister Srimati Indira Gandhi. Tanks rolled on to the Golden Temple. The walls of the Golden Temple literally came crumbling down. Can we ever think of any worse form of sacrilege or desecration?
In 2005, then Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh, himself a Sikh, issued an apology for the massacre of Sikhs that followed the assassination of Indira Gandhi in October 1984. But he referred to Operation Blue Star as a tragic event in the context of Indira Gandhi's determination not to change her Sikh bodyguards.
4,000 people were killed in this great national tragedy that took place in 1984. I have no hesitation in saying that what happened, the death of a great Prime Minister who had served our country with the greatest distinction in peace and war, her death at the hands of her own bodyguards was a great national tragedy. And what happened subsequently was equally shameful.
But Prime Minister Modi's direct comments on Operation Blue Star in Parliament have been received positively by the BJP's former allies.
प्रधानमंत्री साहब का ये बयान बहुत अहम है और हम ये चाहते हैं कि ये जो साका नीरा तारा का ऑपरेशन हुआ है इसको पार्लियामेंट में पास किया जाए और उसके ऊपर खेद प्रकट किया जाए ताकि ये बात सही हो सके.
The complex legacy of Operation Blue Star continues to haunt the Sikh community.
The wounds of the past remain, but perhaps an open dialogue can pave the way for a deeper understanding and healing of that dark phase. Harmeet Shah Singh for India Today.
That's all we have time for in this edition of 6 p.m. Prime. I'll see you same time Monday, but on the other side of a short break, I'm getting you a special broadcast as we count down to Chandrayaan 3's soft landing on the moon.
जबकि 352 में स्पष्ट है कि जो सदन का नेता है, सर्वोच्च नेता, सदन का सर्वोच्च नेता प्रधानमंत्री है, उसके बारे में तुम कभी भी कोई टिप्पणी करोगे, अभद्र भाषा का उपयोग करोगे, जानबूझकर करोगे, अपनी टीआरपी बढ़ाने के लिए कि मेरी पार्टी मुझे नेता प्रतिपक्ष बनाए रखे, तो निश्चित रूप से वो संवैधानिक सिस्टम का, वो देश की मर्यादाओं को तार-तार करने वाला होता है। बार बार उनको कहा गया माफी मांगे, सॉरी फील करें, बाकी भी मांगे, वो माफी भी नहीं मांगे। कोई भी मंत्री बोलता है तुरंत बीच में खड़े हो जाते हैं, जब उनको पूरा टाइम दिया जाता है। उनकी पार्टी ने उनको टाइम नहीं दिया बोलने का, कहीं कलकत्ता से फोन आ गया होगा, किसको नहीं बुलवाना है, इसलिए कांग्रेस दबाव में नहीं दिया। फिर भी सोचा नेता प्रतिपक्ष है, उनको टाइम दिया जाना चाहिए। आधे घंटे का टाइम गृह मंत्री जी के कहने पर, रिक्वेस्ट करने पर, पार्लियामेंट अफेयर मिनिस्टर के रिक्वेस्ट करने पर संसदीय हमारे लोकसभा अध्यक्ष ने समय दिया, और उसके बाद फिर इस प्रकार की टिप्पणियां करना अभद्र, कि किसी भी ऐसे भगोड़े, किसी भी ऐसे भ्रष्टाचारी का नाम प्रधानमंत्री के साथ जोड़कर ये कहना कि आप में उनकी फोटो दिखाई देती है, तो वो देश के कहीं ना कहीं दुनिया भर में देश को शर्मिंदा करने वाला सब्जेक्ट होता है। तो ऐसे लोगों को निकाला ही जाना चाहिए।
प्रधानमंत्री अभी तक ऐसी क्या जिद पर अड़े हैं, ऐसी क्या जिद पर अड़े हैं कि मणिपुर अब तक नहीं गए। मेरा दूसरा प्रश्न कि मणिपुर के मुख्यमंत्री को क्यों नहीं बर्खास्त किया, जिस मुख्यमंत्री के 3 महीने के कार्यकाल में लगभग 6 लाख गोलियां, लगभग 6000 हथियार पुलिस थानों से लूटकर निहत्थे लोगों पर आज गोलियां बरसाई जा रही हैं। ऐसे व्यर्थ मुख्यमंत्री को प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने क्यों बर्खास्त नहीं किया।
Hello and welcome to this special broadcast. I'm Akhshita Nandagopal and we're focusing on India's moonshot, on India's pride, Chandrayaan 3. We're getting closer and closer to the time when all of us utter a prayer